Hull City. Although a team that pushed in the Premier League, whilst they were there, they had owner trouble. Asim Alam was not a fan favourite at the MKM Stadium, but new owner Akun Ilikali... I'm reading the name and I know I've got it wrong. The Turkish owner has lifted Hull's spirits and them up the table. And of course it's not only him, as today Liam Roseinor carries on the good job he's doing, but this time there's a twist. And do you guys want kits like this one, or even this one? If you do, make sure to check out Soccer Deal Shop, link in the description. Cheap and affordable replica kits, and if you use MWS in the promo code checkout, you get yourselves 10% off. As you've probably seen by the title, we can only sign here with Hull City Turkish players like where the owner's from. And there is a thought process behind this, because of course we've got Tufan, who was one of the best Turkish players when he joined. But at the age of 28, I think we can get younger players to join him. Is there any more at the club? There probably might be. I'll have to hunt them down in the squad, as there's another one. We've got Cynic and Ozan Tufan. That's the only two, and we've got to sign more. And I'm probably going to end up struggling with names. And yes, this challenge does mean that we've got to put every single player on the transfer list, despite how much I rate them. That we've got the likes of Alias Sidemesh, a good player coming through. Andy Smith. Please come back to Grimsby. If we could sell him to Grimsby in this save, I'd be over the moon. As you can see, we've only got 6 million, so selling the players isn't going to be the end of the world. But of course, we'll have to bring them in. But of course, it goes without saying, we can use an academy scout here, but it won't be in England. We're going to send him to Turkey to try and find some of them Turkish players to join our team and hopefully do it here in England. And you know how we roll. We do our academy straight away, and to be fair, our scout's not done too bad. We've got Eren Demir, Doruk Bulut, we've got another Demir. We've got actually quite a few Demirs. There's another one under that, and we're going to try and promote a few to get them out on loan. And of course, it goes without saying, we have transfer listed everyone, but we're not going to sell them all straight away. We have to accept every offer, but if they break down, if a player doesn't get an offer, we can keep them in the team for now. And yes, we bought that scout, and we've loan listed a lot of players. You can see there's some going out on loan, but that's not just. You can see we've sold a lot of players as well, including the likes of Alfie Jones, Seri. We need more in. So the first one is the Jones replacement, a centre-back. Of course, you probably guessed which nationality he's from. If you're following this challenge, we've got Kaan Ayan. He's come from Galatasaray for almost 4 million. Shows that we're gathering the money, as the next one through the door is Gökhan Akan, a goalkeeper. Important position to pick up, and as you can see, he goes straight in there as the number 1. But we're not done there. We've got to make the most of this first season, sign the Turkish players whilst they're still youngsters, as the next one into the club is Bartuk Elmas, and he may be the final one before the first game. Or, scrap that, he won't be the final one. We've signed 2 on the day where we play Preston. Squeezing them in, we've got Serdar Sachti. We need another defender, and he's another young one. Looks a little bit like Dragowski, that man, but we've signed another one, and for some reason, he's not showing up on the signings. But as you can see, we've brought in Babusku. He's 60 rated. He's not the best, but he may sit on our bench, as this is how we line up with all the Turkish players in the team. It's definitely not the best Hull City team you've ever seen, but to be fair, it will give a couple of players a chance to grow, and that's all we need. We're not going for promotion straight away. I've put the tiki-taka tactic on, just trying to get my team to play, as long as we don't embarrass ourselves on opening day. And actually, we win with 2 Turkish players scoring. Ozan Tufan and Cynic. Beautiful stuff. But Hull City on the march. We've got to keep mauling like a tiger. And halfway through, the Turkish players are not disappointing at all. Like I said, we had to keep mauling, and mauling we've done. As look at the team. There is a few things, though. You can see Cynic and Babushk not being played. And that, of course, is because of the bench. We've got the likes of Philogene, Carvalho, Twine. Of course, they're going to play. It's not going to stop them and Rory Delap. But as they're at the club, they can still play. Of course, I'm not going to put them in the team when I want our Turkish players to improve, but if they get played, Great. As Scott Twine is top scorer, I'm pretty sure there was no doubts about it not being a Turkish player, as Ozan Tufan is our most from, of course, Turkey, and he has 4 goals and 2 assists. Now a 75 rated, but like I said before, I know we made a few signings, but 13 million Turkish players at their youngest, we've got to go out there and sign a few more good ones. As here we go, a few players now on their way, but not the greatest. Of course, we're a championship team and we don't want to spend it all on one player. So the first one, Ryan Bernier. The second one is Baris Atik, who's come across from Germany to just be a tricky winger. Probably knocks Babusha out. As the final one is Mert Mulder to replace Louis Coyle. There he is. Good stats. A lot better than Louis, unfortunately. And you can see it's been a busy window. As hopefully all the spending and the good team that we've built is enough to finish in them playoffs. And it's time for all to be revealed. We didn't finish in them playoffs. We finished 9th overall, and it's bittersweet. I expected us to be down there with the players we had, but 9th I will take. It's challenging. We've got to be thankful we did that. As you can see, beaten by Bournemouth. Of course, losing to a Prem team's not that bad, but Peterborough in the Carabao, we should have done better. And of course, no Bristol Street Motors in the Championship. I always want to be in that trophy for some reason, as we've got a lot of loan players going back at the end of the season. That could make us worse, but to be fair, you can see we've got 2 high-rated Turkish players, and overall, one of them got 4 goals, 4 assists. Not too much, as it was Philogene who got the most for us. Surprised no offers came in for that man, but next season it could all change. Still in the Championship. And season number 2, you can see it's not all bad. We've got a little bit of shape to our team. Not much though, not much, as Estupinian's going to come straight in, but I would love to find this Turkish attacker, also a midfielder, but as you can see, we've got Demir back from loan. We didn't check our youngsters, as here we go, we've got Demir back, who's not too great. We've got another Demir, though, who is 62 rated. Probably needs another loan deal, as Dorik Bulut. Could we put him straight in as left back? Still, it would be a gamble, and only that, as we've got a couple of good players at this club, but can we get promoted? Especially on a budget of 12 million, which is good. And we'll have players still to sell. Oh, and that's nice. It looks like Kaan Ayhan, our star centre-backs, decided to leave. Now, I can get a replacement that is younger, but still 29's not too old. And we could have used him. Yeah, and it seems like we're only selling players so far. Jason Lukilo out the club. We need to spend. Tyrese Sellers-Fleming joining him. That's a striker. And it reminds me, I've just said we need a striker, as it's actually took a while this season. But we've pulled the trigger, and the first signing ain't too great right now. We've signed Semir Kilishkoy, who is a striker, 18-year-old, and I think only like 65 rated. He's, of course, gonna take time to grow, as in the meantime, we've signed someone who can fill in at left back. And that is Can Aydin from Schalke, who, of course, aren't doing the best in real life. Gotta feel for Schalke, and gotta feel for Bulut, who is the unfortunate man to drop out the team. As when we do this, when we put Kilishkoy in, we have actually got a full Turkish side, but it's not stronger than we started off with. They'll probably get subs, so it shows you we've got to keep going. As one thing we haven't done is check our academy at the club, and it's not great again. A couple of players over the rating of 50, but they'll need loan deals. And they're not going to help us. Not immediately anyway, as there's another centre-back coming into the club to replace Aydan, or Ayhan, whichever it was. The man who left us, that's all I'll say. And when you leave us, you don't remember your name as Senk Ogskaskar. I can't say this name, but he has joined from Seville. I know I'll get roasted in the comments. I deserve it, as the final player is here. A better striker. It'll cause problems with the Stupinan, but welcome Guven Yalchin. He goes ahead and sits up front as Oskar as well. He's left-footed. What a brilliant centre-half to get. Good ratings, and good ratings all around the squad. We've got a youth player in Demir in there. Ready for the season now. As well, in the meantime, in this save, we've got rid of Philogene. He has left the club just before Southampton. It's getting real now. We know we've lost our best player, as I'm checking their team to see if they've got any Turkish players hiding. None right there, and we know how good these are in real life. So can Hull City do it here? We don't. We need to be better in future if we are to push for the Premier League. I don't know. I don't know how we've improved this team. and ended up in a relegation battle. Hull City, we're better than this. Come on, Cardiff and Derby, the only teams between us and League One. Hull have been there in recent times as we've got cup games, but again, I don't care if we're not winning in the league. What on earth is going on? Why is Yalkin not playing? I'm guessing it's a Stupinan, who we need to sell for money now. I can't take this anymore. As you can see, our squad, we've got good players. It's just not good performances, as it's Tufan with 10 goals, and to be fair, Estupin only has 5. He's not even doing well, despite taking up game time. Don't like that, and of course he is transfer listed, as how's this Lone Boys doing? No one out of the ordinary. Jorak Bullet doing the best. We could bring him back, but we'll let him sit out on his loan, as it seems like a write-off season. We do have money, my shoe, though. We've got 18 million in this bank account because, of course, of Philogene's late departure, which seems to have an effect. So let's go out and spend on one big player. That's what it's going to be, hasn't it? A big player. Wingers have been our problem, so out goes Cynic. He's out the door in a swap deal for this man, who's cost all his money as well as a player. As please welcome to the club for 15 million plus a man, Kareem R2G. What a signing for the championship. Now this team's a lot more like it. We've got a solid defense, just need a solid attack, and that's a lot more like it. Looking at the table, I can't even believe that Bristol City are the team to go down. 44 points as well. That is a lot of points, but you can see Hull City climbed to a measly kind of 14th position. I say that as I expected better, as did we do well in the cups? I mean, Coventry have, but again, nowhere to be seen. Not only did we fail in the league, we failed in the FA Cup and the Carabao. As you can see, we were beaten by an imperiled Blackburn. If you want to see how their season's going, check the last video on the channel. It has been rough, as it's rough for us with these players. I mean, look at Tufan, 79. We've got R2G 79. These players, they deserve so much better. Now I'm going to go out on a limb and make up a big excuse, but I'm going to say they're new to the country, of course, new to playing English football, apart from Tufan who's scoring and the lads who have been here a bit longer. So yep, next season, hopefully, fingers crossed, should be the one. Right, let's say brand new season, brand new starters. It's got me thinking, do we change formation? I'm stuck with this as we've kept on going, but Demir is the weakest. We could add a centre-back. I don't know how I feel about this, but I just feel another defender is the position we have strength in. As doing that works, putting Sachi in, but we could still sign another player. Demir and Bullet on the bench. Of course, I don't like purposefully benching young players, but we've still got a lot of them there anyway. And speaking of a lot, we've been gifted a lot of money, 15 million. To get more in. As here we go, we've got to sign big players up, and we found a little bit of a hidden gem. Welcome to the club, Bertug Yildirim. Where's this man been hiding? I mean, I looked at all youngsters, but Yildirim cost 9 million. Still, I would have paid that last season if I would have seen him. As there we go. Now it's just a right-hand-sided player. And is there one in our academy? There is. There's Volkan Sahin, but he's got no potential. There's Alpakara, though, and he does 60 rated, but only 15. He's going to have to wait to get his promotion as 3 million. Could we find a good right midfielder with £3 million? Or potentially more, because we've sold our final player that isn't Turkish. Javier Simmons is going to Charleroi in Germany, or Belgium maybe? As here we go, we've spent the money and we have found a 76 rated Baris Alper Yilmaz. That is a superb signing. Got pace, got strength, and this team now has gone from strength to strength. We really need to be going up, and to be fair, Brighton, not the easiest start away from home. Don't really know how they got relegated, and their team, yep, in my opinion, still a Premier League club. They're gonna gegenpress us, but we've got to get round it with our quality, and there you go. Bertug with the goal. And who is Bertug? I forgot. Oh, it's the first name of Yildirim. I didn't know that because honestly, with our disappointment, I haven't felt connected to the team. But now we've got to get going. Now we've got the quality, and now it is time for Hull's return to the big league. And at the halfway point last year, we were really sat here sighing. This year, I'm sat here looking at this team thinking, wow, we're Premier League quality. I mean, even before we check the table, just look at that. We've got 280 plus rateds now. Tufan and R2G, wow, these lads, just need to keep on firing. I'm guessing they'll be top scorers. As having a look, it is only R2G actually. As Yilmaz, the signing we made, getting 6, and Tufan himself only getting 6 as well. I don't get actually how I'm disappointed with that, as looking at the table, we're top of the tree. Championship winners, surely now. Not to be big-headed, but we should have this in the bag. And come on, end of the year, you can see right there, and the previous month, a lot of draws, but no playoffs. Does that mean we bottled it completely? No, it doesn't. It means automatic promotion, but I've got to say, rather disappointed that we didn't win the title. Brighton Hove Albion run away with it, and to be fair, we didn't have a full 75 rated squad. We did have a full 12-point lead, as in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup this year. Aston Villa to knock us out, that is rather disappointing, and congratulations to Aston Villa as well. Losing to the winners, worst things to happen, as nothing worse than losing in round 1 of the Carabao. That is goddamn shameful, as this team isn't shameful though. One more defender, and this is a European team. I mean, technically it is. We've got all players from in Europe, in Turkey, none from England, none from anywhere else. As top scorer in our journey, our 85 rated Karim Atukoglu. What a signing. That is why he cost the big bucks. Now, Hull City, big time, hot shots, been here before, but we need to make sure we stay here this time, as our budget 60 million in the Premier League. Now, with youth, we'll probably have to buy a scout because our squad is definitely not big enough. As also, question about the formation. Do we switch this? Because is there really need for an extra defender? It may be a weird one, but what I'm thinking is we go 4-4-2, get another striker in there, as that probably gives away who I want to sign, but we will try and sign him nevertheless. It also hopefully allows Mulder to move back to right back, where I think he was better. Yes, it's a weird move, I know, after a promotion, but Bullet as well. He can now go in the team. So ready for this season. As also, I forgot about this man in the academy. Alpacara will get him out on loan, along with a few others. We've got a lot of players here. As here is that man you probably expected when I alluded to a striker. Welcome to the club. One of Turkey's best players, Enes Ünal, is now a Tiger. He's cost 35 million or 36, which is a big part of our budget. As there he is, partnering up with Yildirim, and I like this team very much. I mean, you can see Aydin's a weak player, but Bullet's going to be behind him, and Barnia we could probably replace. However, my idea was to get a replacement for Akan, who is in between the sticks. After all, a good goalkeeper makes you click in the Prem, so 20 million will go towards that. As this is the man we're bringing in, welcome to the club. I think it's pronounced Almeda or Alemda. He comes across from Stade Rennais, and he's a lot cheaper than the 20 million we had. And he's actually a rating below Akan, but a couple of years younger, 8 to be exact. As Tufan needs to train as a centre mid, and then I believe we're done. As our first game of the Premier League season, I believe they don't have any Turkish players, but Brentford, let's see how this goes. I can't lie as well. No immediate expectations. We've put Bullet in as well at left back. I'm going to trust our youth player, as we needed one in. And to be real, we lose the first game. Artukoglu with a goal, Richarlison with a goal, and Keane Lewis Potter, an ex-player with a late winner. But let's make sure we use that to anger us. And we need to see how this first season's gone. I mean, looking at the points, we're not far off Newcastle. That's surely not a bad thing, though, as they're in second, and we, Hull City, are in 5th. Now, that's a pleasant surprise. Manchester City 2 points behind. And to be fair, we're a bit off Aston Villa. I mean, I don't even have to be fair. We've got Newport in the FA Cup. Could we win a cup alongside finishing the Europa League? That would be class, wouldn't it? As in the Carabao, though, we're not in a semi-final. Wow, though, and looking at the team, I mean, Almeida, bringing him into the club. What an acquisition for Hull City. It shows you that Ligue 1, we've done some good signings from there. Not only in this save, but overall as, yeah, very, very good players. We've got some contracts to sign up. And look at Doruk Bulut, our 19-year-old wonder kid. We haven't had many players stick out for goals. In fact, Enes Ünal with 5 goals. Looks like everyone's not getting consistent game time. I mean, wow, I've got to say it again, and look at this team again. Can it keep it up, though? 5 points off the Champions League. It is an ask, but Could we sneak in there? And before we check our triumph, I'm hoping it's triumph anyway. We are looking at that team again, moments after looking at it last time, because I can't get it out of my head how good it is. I mean, look at Kareem. We signed him in the championship, and 88 rated he is now. Ozan Tufan's been here from the start, still the captain, still pretty old, but the same rating as Unal. This is phenomenal, as finally we got a good scorer, and that, my friends, of course, was Kareem. Love to see that. As also love to see, it's a little bit late in the save, but Alpacara. I mean, if we're not in Europe, to be fair, it might not be late in the save, and we could use this guy for seasons to come. Depends on how we finished, as we didn't get Europa League. We didn't get Conference League. But Hull City, ladies and gents, in their first season in the Prem, have done a Leicester City kind of miracle and got Champions League football. Now that is phenomenal. Beating Manchester City to it as FA Cup. I see we got beat by Newport. That's not very fun. That's not very Hull City-like, especially after this season, as Crystal Palace win the Carabao. And positionally, we know this season, if we're going to do anything in the Champs League, we need that centre-half. I am so sorry, Bennacer, but you, my friend, are not good enough for where we are right now. Not going to try and sell him, of course. Not going to buy an academy scout. We've had enough. We've got enough. Money-wise and youth player-wise, as £106 million is what we've got to operate with. And this first signing, we've gone to the very top of Turkish football. And that, my friends, you already know, Turkish or not, you know how class this man is. Or he will be good, as welcome to the club, Arda Güler from Real Madrid. Or I think he came from Leverkusen, I'm not sure. But I'm sure he cost a lot of money. The only issue with this man is, where do we play him? Do we trust him out wide? Because two fans attacking? We can't have two attacking midfielders in the centre. Or can we? And of course a lot of money gone, but we still had enough, like I made sure, to get a centre-back in. Welcome to the club. I think our second signing and final one, Ozan Kabak from Espanyol, and this man's career has been topsy-turvy until now. We've got to make sure we look after him. Once a Liverpool player and once not very lucky at Liverpool. The team's now fully over 80 rating, but will that win the Champions League? I'm not too convinced. As the first game of the Premier League as well, Chelsea FC at the MKM. We've got to be hopeful. No Turkish players in their lineup, of course, as we probably stole them all. And Güler, 86. Trained him as a right mid. Yilmaz out the team, and will that work out for us? It will. Bertug Yilmaz with the goal, and the other one comes from Enes Ünal. And that's not the only goals them two score. Our striking partnership, as we check the Champions League group, has us joint top of the Premier League. Of course, we've got to stay there, though, as our Champions League group. Right, that's a lot harder. We've got Bayern Munich, ourselves, Marseille, and Club Brugge, all teams that are capable of making it through. And I want to get an early look at how our Champions League is going. You can see there's a defeat to Bayern there, a defeat to Newcastle, and overall, Champions League doesn't look too good. I saw a win against Bruges, but I don't see our name going through. Oh dear! The Turkish lads have let us down big time as we have crashed out in the group stage of the Champions League. Yeah, that's embarrassing. That is horrific. As like you saw as well, we pointed out we lost to Newcastle. Of course, in the Carabao Cup, as we've got Burnley in the third round of the FA Cup. And before I have to put myself out of my misery, it seems like El Madad's gone up in rating but not played. Don't get why it's playing, Hakan. Maybe we have to sell him. But the rest of the squad, now this is looking good. A 90 rated R2G is what the doctor ordered. But overall, we've got contracts to sign, so we're probably not going to be able to make another signing. And I'm dreading checking the Premier League, but we can see right there, Enes Ünal has been scoring in it. 18 goals overall, 14 in the Prem, and we're not out of the Champions League race, which we need to be in, because we're out of it already. We're dropping to the Europa, I think, but still, come on, lads. Give it your all. And we've made it to the end with a few victories, but please, Hull City, have European football, or Champions League football, I should say, as we've done it. All right. I have to say, though, if any of them results have changed slightly, the game did crash once we crashed out of the Champions League. Yeah, mental, really. It messed up the Champions League as well, so I don't really know what's going on here. All I know, though, is in the preliminary round, which it still put us in, we got beat by Monaco 5-4. That is really bad, as of course we were out of the Carabao, and in the FA Cup, we were out somewhere as well, I guess. And we haven't got onto the team yet, as after this season. I mean, we should be winning the Champions League, really. Look at the improvements we've had. I mean, bullets not too much, and yeah, I love this. I can't remember who was top scorer when we checked halfway through, but you can see Kareem almost out of contract. And what a player he is. He got 16 goals and 14 assists in 53 games, but taking the bacon is Enes Ünal, 31-year-old, 26 goals. Phenomenal. Same with Yildirim getting a lot, and Gula sharing game time with Yilmaz. And he will be next year when we're fighting in loads of competitions. And this season, I know we're in the Champions League, but it's gonna be difficult. Not because we don't have a spot on team, that's not the problem, it's signings. And no, I'm not meaning money, as we've got £142 million of that. I'm meaning players that are quality enough to even get on our bench, never mind the first team. I mean, Akan, the goalkeeper, he's pretty good. Kara's had a brilliant season off the bench. We've got Demir, who's a youngster. Yilmaz is good. Yalkin maybe the only one to be overturned. Our reserves as well, good enough. They're not spectacular, but we don't need them to be, as we're in the Champions League and we're searching for one nationality, which is the only thing hindering. And making this first signing, it's going to make me look a bit stupid. Now, I said there wasn't any quality players out there. How wrong I was. I was forgetting a big player who was at Chelsea in this save. Welcome to the club for 61 million. We've signed Orkun Kokuglu, and it proves how good we still are that even he still has to sit on our bench. I mean, there's Elmas in there, and actually I'll compare stats, and never mind, scrap that. Koikiv's gotta go in. And of course, Tufan staying in. As a backup centre-back, I thought I'd need Mary Demiral. This man was a beast in our Charlton save only a week ago. If you want to see that, it's on the channel. As how are we going to find a striker before the start of the season? That is the question we've got to ask ourselves. And the answer is here. Literally here, although it's kind of a semi-answer. The reason being, he isn't a striker, a centre-forward in Can Ozun. He's going to need some training, but he sits on that bench alongside some very good other Turkish League players. Oh, not all Turkish League. I mean, Demiral come from Saudi Arabia, and Ozun, of course, has just come from Serie A. That's wiped out the budget. I say wiped out still. It's 26 million, but that's enough spending for us. If we need saving in January, we've got a little bit, but hopefully we're not out of the Champions League this year. As we start off with Fulham and their team, oh, they've got some decent players. Carlos Perez is a new one. Haven't seen him around in a hot minute, as please Hull City get the win, and there we go. Our 90 rated player, and Carlos Perez was actually sent off. A great victory, and will only kick us on, hopefully in the UCL, as I prefer this group, Monaco, Braga and Sparta Praha, to get us up and running. And this team halfway through, I don't know what position it's in, but I do not like what's happening to our Manos and Tufan. Going down in rating, hate that for him, the original. But we've got two 90 rated players now in Kerem Atatürkoğlu and Enes Ünal. Hopefully have carried us through in the Champions League. Surprised as well in one player in particular, and that is this man, Arda Güler. Changed him to a right mid, and it seems to have nerfed him. Still though, too late to change him back, I suppose. We've got to have a bit of faith in him. As you can see right there, Derby County are the team to get us in the FA Cup. As in the Premier League, the Tigers not getting the look. We're not scratching the likes of Manchester City, and when City's involved, you're not catching them. As Everton, we are through in the Carabao. Now, we might not catch City on points, but if we get to the final and they do, we might beat them. I trust we've got a good enough team, as we have got a good enough team in the Champions League. We've got Inter in the round of 16. Made it through, but only just, it must be said, because, well, not only just, we only came second. That's not good enough. Monaco in first. Of course, we've got that 26 million that we could spend. But are we going to find anyone Champions League quality with that much money in our position? I'll answer that question for you. It is a no. So on to Inter we go. And looking at their team, Jacob Ramsey, Mason Mount, a good spine to the squad. Jordan Pickford in net. That is a weird one, as Bertuk Yildirimir with our goal. Good little start, but as we all know, you have to start as you mean to go on. 2-1 on aggregate, 1-1 on the night, but Hull City through to them luxurious quarterfinals. And it's a nice little revisitation with Monaco, who of course topped us in that group. Yes, some good players, but not much world-classness, as the first leg, we are behind, as this can't stick, and Akugoglu sent off. Now this is going to be a painful second leg, but let's rip the band-aid off, and we have done that in superb fashion. 2-0 Hull City. It took extra time. Enes Ünal and Yildirimir up front, making a partnership. As what a good pair, and what a good pair of games for a semi-final. Leipzig, gotta say I fancy our chances, and first leg, our left back regen with the goal. Only one goal up, but only one game to go though, so this is a huge occasion, and we have done it. Arda Güler finally comes good as we make it to the final. Get in there, Hull City. Any more achievements? I mean, I said we won't catch them. I didn't believe we could. But Hull City, the Tigers, are champions of England as well. Unfortunately, not champions of the FA Cup, though, as that good team this season, Bournemouth, beat us. Unfortunate, but I tell you what, there is a treble pending as the Carabao Cup, like we beat City in the league. It is Hull 2-0 over the Citizens. What a save we've had, and what a team we've built. I mean, we could swap Elmas in for Tufan, but honestly, I am that set in having an original in the squad. I'm keeping Ozan in there. Elmas on the bench for this travel to Old Trafford, where Hull City aim for trophy number 3 this year. As here we go. Being a Grimsby fan, seeing Juventus in black and white hurts, because it's black and white versus Hull City. That is usually the Humber derby going on. Although we've not seen one of them in a while, and we may not see one of those in a while. Grimsby not doing the best, as we've got to be the best to beat the best right here, because Juventus are not going to sit back and let us win. They are going to be a very good team, as Koglu jumping over tackles. This is Koglu now, and he's going to go from range. Cooper Miners with the block, and short corner from Tufan straight into Arda Güler. Tufan, the captain, squaring one up, and as that hit an arm, I believe it has done. Early start for City here. It is Cooper Miners who made the original block leading to the corner, as we've had a lot of penalties recently in these finals. And Tufan, one position we've never gone, is down the middle as Tufan, the captain, blasts it home. And Hull City, the Tigers, are mauling. Get in there. Has he got a player face? It doesn't look like it. Now, I thought he would. The Turkish legend doesn't though, as that is an iconic finish in a Champions League final. Straight down the middle, and a beautiful start to the game, as here's Enes Ünal looking for maybe that pass, as he's gone for it, and we've gone down in the box. It's Arda Güler, and it's another penalty. Now, I'm kind of getting sick of penalties, even when they're for us, but that is a horrific challenge. Don't know what the defender was thinking. And this is a chance for Tufan once again. This time, I'm not going to go into the middle. We're going to go into the corner. And Ozan Tufan wearing that captain's armband like a champ. And we're 2-0 up. This is honestly really good stuff. Dusan Vlahovic, though, we've got to watch ourselves defensively, as that's the first time they've come forward, but easy block for our central defender. And maybe an easy run away, because this is Arda Güler, and he's got some skill. Not played too good in the simulations, but look at this. Arda Güler on the run. Just lacked that finishing pass, but I tell you what, Mert, our right back, doing well. Koiku with a chance to finish. And that may be game finished 30 minutes in. Koiku, the late signing. The signing this season has just hit maybe one of the best goals we've scored in a long while. Look at that. Absolutely phenomenal from the number 28. And that goal literally marks halftime straight after it. Yes, we kept them quiet for 15 minutes, and they kind of kept us a little bit quiet. That being said, though, we are the team the 3 goals to the good. Love it, as hopefully we've got chance to add more goals. I mean, I don't want us to go quiet. We've got a team capable of, and of course our man who's been here all along, Ozan on a hat-trick. That will be some way to make this save worthwhile, as to be fair, they're coming at us now. Their littlest or biggest flurry of the game, I've got to say, and a Pender has drilled it in on the hour mark. Juventus grab a goal back. Then again, I'm not too worried. Nothing to put us off task, though. Come on, we've been dominant. Apart from that little counter, and every team's going to be decent at some point. Can't fully dominate a Champions League final, as that's Tufan with the pass this time. This is a chance to make it 4-1 and extend that lead again. Not getting past him, though. And hang on, there could be a counter on here. Benjamin Sesko in the middle. Dusan Vlahovic, it's gone all over the place. And Almeida, it's in off the back of his head. Now this game is alive and kicking from 3-0 domination now to an absolute calamitous goal, calamitous mistake, and now Juventus 1 goal off being in extra time. I think it came off his wrist actually. Not a great goal to concede still. Come on, lads. Focus back up. Now, if it wasn't for 2 penalties, we'd be 2-1 behind. But luckily enough for us, we have scored 2. Just don't let them score another 2. Come on. I mean, that is a double tackle. We've got away with both of them. A bit of luck in the Champions League final as Gula gonna cut inside right here out of Gula. Saliba takes it off him. Best player in this game. Round the corner, though. Getting nervous now. Tufan back on it. If he just shoots from range, if the keeper catches it. Referee, blow that whistle. As soon as he hoofs it, he doesn't even get the chance. As the referee stops the game in its tracks, and Hull City have won the UCL title. It has took a lot out of me, this one. Using only Turkish players has been a blast, but a very difficult challenge at the same time, as Ozan Tufan, the man to start it all, apart from, of course, the ownership, lifting the trophy. But not only that one, of course, overall, you can see we've got the treble laid out there on the parade bus. As if you have enjoyed this save and want to see another one, click the subscribe button for some more.